I was present on the morning of November 21st when Lance Corporal John Shylock was killed. We assembled in the Sucrerie and after having formed up, proceeded along the canal bank towards the other sugar factory where Battalion HQ was to be located. The enemy were at the time shelling the bank and one shell burst right in the middle of our column and killed 7, amongst whom was Lance Corporal Shylock, and wounded about 10 others. Shylock was buried that afternoon in the village of Malnier and close to the spot where he fell. His loss was keenly felt by the whole regiment, as he was a great favorite with all ranks, an excellent scout and observer, and a thoroughly good, reliable fellow in every way. Shylock will long be remembered by all who knew him. R.H. Tate, Captain and Adjutant, 1st Royal Newfoundland Regiment.
He is somewhat of a hero to the community, and in the sense that I think people feel that his role in the war really represented the community and our piece of helping to fight for our freedom.
He was made a Lance Corporal in a very short time. A sniper of some renown. There are some people claim he was the best sniper in the British Army.
I think there's a real sense of loss too, that we didn't know the man better, or he was dead before a lot of his nieces and nephews were born. Had he come back to live to an age of 50 or 60, a lot of his nephews and nieces would have been in their 30s and 40s, and I'm sure there would have been a lot more stories about him. John Shylock, or Uncle John as I like to call him, he lived with his family out in the bays around the community, as most other people did. It was mainly a trapper, fisherman sort of lifestyle. They trapped during the trapping season, then came back to fishing during the summer season. And you must say that during the whole year it was a seal fishery which they looked to for survival and food supply. I think you leave in October, go to your trap line. You spend the whole year there just about until, say, Christmas. You might have come home for Christmas, some did, some didn't. So, you know, they spent their days, and it was a day that you moved every day. You done your trap line every day.
And half an hour, I'd say.
I think you talk to a lot of the older people, and they'll tell you it was a good life. I guess it's the best they had. But looking back personally at what they went through, it was a hard life in today's world, because they spent their time on the land and on the water, and I don't think they ever knew where their next meal was coming from. Ammunition was fairly scarce, and they didn't make a lot of money, so what ammunition you did have, you made every shot count.
Where you got into, like where you see the cracks are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there he is now. This is what they would use back then. These are all cat traps. They use them for cats.
I would suspect that he heard about the war. I guess trapping and fishing wasn't probably what he wanted to do. He wanted to move on and try a new experience. He probably walked from here to somewhere in southern Labrador, where he was able to take a boat and get on a boat and go to St. John's to enlist.
In the summer of 1915, he joined the Royal Newfoundland Regiment. So he would routinely take the coastal boats to St. John's and purchase clothes. And he was known to, on the boats coming home, to wear 1 or 2 outfits a day, impeccably dressed. A likable man. People of all different walks of life became friends with him, from the doctors to the missionaries to authors.
My dear Louisa, I have only time to write you a postcard today. I am in the best of health. Hope you are the same and not too lonely. I wonder if you think of me any time during all this lonely time since I left you last summer. Write and let me know if you are still true. I think of you every day, even when I am in the line. I would love to see you, my dear. This is my picture. Your boy, Pirate John Shylock.
It's like when you go to the mall today and dress up as a cowboy. There was probably photo studios that had that in Scotland when he was there, and maybe that's where it came from, because it looks like a very staged professional picture.
I'm not sure how he started out, but he eventually became a sniper, and I guess in comparison to his former life, I believe a sniper does work quite a bit alone, and I think his former life trained him well to do that.
A sniper's job, you go forward, occupy position, usually in pairs or two groups of two with overwatch. So one is watching the other one. And then he would harass and try to demoralize the enemy. Primary targets are being those in charge, or machine gun nests. He commented, or it's been attributed to him as commenting, that it was a lot like being a hunter shooting seals. Patience, 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 and when the seal popped the head up to the ice, he would harvest the seal. Bang. And it's the German helmet head would have been a lot bigger than a small seal's head, so probably would have been easier for him.
We had an Eskimo who was a very quiet chap, name of Johnny Shylock, a sniper. Sometimes I sneaked out to a sniping post when it was near. He was continuously watching. He must have killed a lot of Germans. He told me 'twas like swatching seals, he said. I talked to him of duck shooting, deer hunting, and his eyes would light up. He often sighed and said, "Will it ever be over till I get home again?" Private Howard Morey, Royal Newfoundland Regiment.
There's a lot of inquiries come from right across Canada of people wanting to know who John Shylock was and what his legacy was. So, you know, it's bigger than we ever thought this would be, like his part he played in the war and what he stood for.
It talks about the Labrador contribution to the regiment. It talks about the Native contribution to the regiment, of which there were dozens and dozens of Native soldiers that nobody really has done a lot of research of yet.
There's a sense of pride, and as I said earlier, there's a sense of loss as well. Like a sense of pride that you know, one of us, I say one of us, did do our part in fighting for freedom and gave his life for it. The sense of loss, as I said before, it's not being able to know his legacy that he could tell himself by not coming back.